Hey everyone, it's Tom Kratz. I'm coming to you from the shores of Lake Ontario. I think this is the worst day I could have chosen to do this. A storm's rolling in, it's windy and it's cold, and I think I'm crazy being on the shores here, but I know you probably can't see this, but behind me, out here on the lake, there's 4 people paddle surfing. I can't believe they're out there doing that right now. But anyway, I want to make a point to you. The population of the Greater Toronto Area, the Golden Horseshoe, and if you're not familiar with the Golden Horseshoe, I'm talking everywhere from like Oshawa all the way around to Niagara. It's about 8.6 million people. Now keep that number in mind, as I want to make a point. A lot of people psych themselves out on real estate because they will see the latest headlines in the news, and specifically last week there were some headlines about Home Trust, the mortgage lender, and those are big important headlines, and we should as real estate investors be very aware of those developments, and we're constantly analyzing and studying that kind of stuff. But the big trends are your greater friend in real estate. So remember I mentioned 8.6 million people in the Golden Horseshoe? The forecast over the next 25 years in this particular area between Lake Ontario and the green belt, which is the biggest green belt in the world, so this sandwiched piece of land right here is going from 8.6 million or roughly 9 million, and it's going to go up another 4.5 million people. That is a massive population base increase. And as a real estate investor, if we understand that data, that's the trend that we can ride through all the bumps and ups and downs that are going to come our way throughout our life cycle of owning property. Because the headlines that hit the news about interest rates and different bank situations are critically important in the short term. And you have to survive those to benefit from properties in the long term. But the long-term trend in an area like this is astronomically positive. I want to give you some examples. We know people that are moving here from India, from China, from Croatia, and I want to give you some specifics. People move here often from India to give their kids a better chance at university education, because the education system is so competitive in India. When they come to Canada, their kids have a much better chance of entering university. People are leaving China, and they tell us this all the time, because they're worried about the banking industry in China and the devaluation of the currency, so they'd rather take money and move it out of China and into a country like Canada, and specifically into properties here in Canada, because they don't like what they see over there. So you have people moving from India for lifestyle reasons, China for monetary and hot money reasons, and then you have people from Croatia who are university educated but cannot find good jobs in that country, and they're leaving the country and they're coming to countries like Canada. And when immigrants come into Canada, they often find their way to the Golden Horseshoe, and that's driving the population. We are blessed in this area to have such a population increase. I would challenge anyone listening to this to find me another metropolitan center like the Golden Horseshoe that gets more immigration than we do right here. We must be number 1 in North America. If we're not number 1, we're in the top 3. And even if we're in the top 3, even if we're 2 or 3 and not number 1 in that stat, I would challenge anyone to compare the quality of our immigrants to any other immigrants in the rest of North America. We get very high caliber immigration. It's a great driver for our economy and the GDP here. So we can all talk about these things all day long, but when you are a real estate investor, the big global trend of population growth into an area automatically drives the value of real estate. So yes, you have to buy good properties and you have to track interest rates and you should watch the headlines and see what's going on with different banks. But the big, long, global trends that are driving a population base right here can be the longer, bigger trend that drives the value of property prices, whether you get in the market or not. So I'm sharing this because I think a lot of people psych themselves out and they miss the big global trends that are going on right at their feet. They're missing the forest for the trees. Hopefully that gives you something to think about. I hope those paddle boarders out there are safe. Until next time, your life, your terms.